Hi friends, my name is Sasha.
And I'm Mia.
And this is the Drawing Club podcast.
A weekly show where we chat about art, creativity, life,
and my cats.
And all of this while drawing a new illustration every week.
And you can draw with us. If you do, please share your creations on social media and tag us in your posts.
Welcome to the club, friends.
Welcome back, friends.
Welcome back.
So, episode 10 of season 3. So, last episode of the season and last episode of the year.
Yeah, this is so exciting. I really loved our season finales, and we have some fun stuff planned for today's episode as well, so I can't wait.
And since we started our podcast in the beginning of this year, this is basically like 1 year of doing the podcast.
Yes.
So this is our first year of the podcast party.
Yes. I am drinking some tea. Very party mood up in here.
Yes. Yeah, I'm drinking some green tea also.
Nice.
So please grab your party drinks because we are gonna celebrate today.
Yes.
So as usual, we are drawing. So let's talk about what we are drawing today.
Yeah.
Do you wanna start?
Sure. So I am actually drawing with watercolors because, as I've told you in the past couple of episodes, I've been drawing this. I've had this very kind of intense drawing assignment, like a client project, and I've been drawing on the iPad for that a lot. So I'm almost done with that. So I'm I don't want to stare at my iPad anymore. So I had to do something different. So I just decided to kind of freehand some plant stuff with my watercolors. So yeah, I'm just taking it easy and relaxing. What about you, Sasha?
As like most of this season, I think, I'm drawing with Copic markers in my sketchbook, and it's just some random stuff, some floral things. I want to do some maybe kind of these minimal line florals with a gel pen, and then some color blobs behind them.
Oh, sounds fun. And as usual, you will see at the end what we come up with if you're watching us on YouTube, or you will see it on our Instagram page once the episode is out.
All right. So, we thought maybe let's talk about doing the podcast for a whole year. Since this is our party, let's talk about the reason we're celebrating.
Yeah, the journey.
So, yes. Yeah. So, even though technically our podcast started coming out in the middle of January, since we're pre-recording all these episodes, we started working on it in the middle of December. So this is now is pretty much exactly 1 year since we started working on it. So how do you feel? How do you feel about having done this for a whole year?
I don't know, in a way that 1 year ago feels like ages ago, mostly because of how this year has been, I think, because for the first season, we recorded in the same space with video, and then when Corona happened, we kind of had to adjust, so we've been now just recording sound, and we're in our own homes, and it's kind of very different from that beginning, but then also in a way it's I don't know, time is weird. But I just feel so proud. We've made 30 episodes. We've talked for 30 hours at least. Probably more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels really special.
Yeah. I remember it was so cute when we started because we whenever we meet, we talk a lot. We're both very chatty people, and we just chat. We can talk for hours. Yeah. And then I think one day we were kind of laughing about how much we talk, and we were I think we should make a podcast as a joke. And then the other one of us was Yeah, I kind of thought about it.
Yeah.
I kind of thought about it too. So it was so cool that like it was this idea that we both already had.
Yeah.
But like didn't want to bring up, and but then yeah, so it was like kind of half joke, but then I'm so happy we started it. Because of course it was a bit scary in the beginning. We were like, is anybody gonna listen to like us talk? Because it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, when we just talk, we don't really think about like it's not for public, but
Yeah.
yeah. But then so many of your friends joined us and like are listening to us, and it's so cool.
It is. It's really
Yeah,
amazing.
I still I still can't believe like people are enjoying listening to us chat
Yeah.
about things. I mean, not that like I think that our chats are bad. I think they're great.
What are you
But-
saying?
But I don't know. It's like always, you know, when something you do, like when somebody enjoys what you do, it's so heartwarming.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it's kind of registered for me that there are people who like, because of course like we've gotten some comments and we like feedback from you, which is like super nice, but I think what really like kind of made me realize like, oh, there's people that actually like really enjoy this and care about this was when we had the VR art exhibition that Helen Farley put up for us. And so many of you wanted to join and sent your art, and then we had the little opening party, and I was like, oh my god, we've created this cute little art community of like people who are nice and who enjoy drawing, and I don't know, like that kind of really made it sink in for me that we've really done something with this. I don't know. It was so nice.
Yeah, and I think like since like our kind of like the message of our podcast has always been that like that kind of like anyone can be creative, and even if you're just starting out, like your work is like valuable, and I don't know, like I find it very important to like be supportive of people no matter like where they are in their journey, and no matter how like professional, quote unquote, like they have become. So I feel like this exhibition was like a perfect, like we also gave or like mostly Helen gave an opportunity for people to also like do something like that no matter where they are on their journey, and like and everybody's art was so cool and amazing. And yeah, for me it's also like seeing everyone's work, like when you friends tag us in your posts. Like when I think especially in the beginning, like when I was realizing that people are actually listening and sitting down and drawing while listening, I don't know, like I remember in the beginning I was just like mind blown. I was kind of like even though that was our idea, but still
we didn't know if anyone would actually like be into that.
Yeah, and like we didn't know how, like if that works, if that like podcast idea is a good idea, like if like how do people listen to podcasts? Are they actually gonna like sit down and draw when we draw? But a lot of you do, and it's so nice, and it's so like, and also I love when like somebody tags us, and sometimes we see the message right away, so we also sometimes like repost or reply right away, and people are still listening, so they're like, oh my god, I'm hearing you in my headphones and you're replying to this message. And it's so like to me always like, oh yeah, true, they are listening. It's not just like it's this person who tagged us and they are sitting there right now listening to our podcast. It's like,
that is so cool. I also like I love seeing when people like show us show us like themselves listening to our podcast. Like it's part of people's lives. People like in their lives take the time to like sit down and listen to us, and maybe like create something or maybe not, but like it's so amazing that we can kind of be a little part of people's lives that way. Like I don't know, it feels really special.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and like we love hearing from you friends, so and like we are it's like it's our little art project, but we are also doing it for you. So like if you have suggestions for what you want us to talk about, please like let us know, because we love to hear from you and we want to talk about things that are interesting to you.
Yes.
That of course are also interesting to us, but like we love to hear from you.
Yes. Yeah, we like to think we're like approachable, so please don't be scared. We're also shy, so we can be shy together. You can get in touch with like anything. It really makes us happy.
Yeah, and yeah, one of our little traditions has become this these little stories that we share with you in the beginning. This one thing we want to share with the club today.
Yes.
So we reach out to some of you to also share something
Yes.
with us. And we would like to have like this segment, we would like it to be a bit longer this time because we want to hear more stories than just the two that we want to share.
Yes.
And yeah, we got a few submissions and we're gonna play them now and we're gonna, I don't know, react to them.
Yeah, we don't know what's coming. We haven't listened to them beforehand.
Yes, we haven't heard them. Yeah. So, should we go to the first one?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so the first story came from Ahma, who was our guest on season 1.
Yeah, all the way back.
They're a tattoo artist. They're actually my tattoo mentor. So yeah, let's hear what Ahma has to say.
Hey lovelies, it's your favorite goblin Ahma here. I was actually planning to record this even earlier, but I kind of forgot, and now I just saw the Insta post again, and I was like, oh man, I have to do it now before it gets too late. And yeah, I still have 50 minutes to do this, so I'm totally in time. But yeah, I think I'm doing quite fine. I have been mostly napping with my dog today and having a long walk and then eating some vegan sushi, which was delicious. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing great and are really enjoying this gloomy, dark autumn season of this very weird year that we have right now. So yeah, wishing all the best for the rest of the year and also for the year 2021. Yay! Bye!
Oh, hey Amma. I wish I could like. I was kind of like, oh yeah, trying to remind myself to be quiet while we listen because I wanted to like, oh, ooh, ah, like really. That was such a cozy. It sounded like such a cozy day, like a dream day, napping with a dog and eating delicious food.
Yeah, I want to nap with Ahma's dog.
Yeah, same.
Yes, Ahma has the most adorable dog.
Yeah, they do.
And vegan sushi sounds amazing. I kind of started craving vegan sushi.
Yeah, I haven't had sushi in a while.
Yeah, same.
Yum. Oh, that's so nice. More, I want more. What do we have next?
Yes. Okay. Next submission is from Mia's partner, Olli.
Aw. I can't wait to hear this one.
Yes. Let's hear Olli talk.
Hi everyone, my name is Olli. I'm the person behind the jingle of this podcast, and I'm also Mia's partner. And I wanted to share with the club today that this year I discovered playing video games again after more than 15 years. I used to play quite a lot when I was a kid. I used to play the Super Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong Country, etc. But yeah, I also played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 a lot. But after that, I kind of stopped because I guess I didn't find any games that I like. And now this year, I had a lot of free time and we got a PlayStation, and I actually found quite many games I like. And two of my favorites so far have been Unravel, which is like a puzzle game. I guess it's called, the genre is called physics-based puzzles or something like that. And the one I discovered very recently is called Celeste, which is also like a puzzle game, but more sort of intense and fast-paced. And it is pretty difficult, but I love it, even though I'm not like super good at it. But I feel like it's really satisfying to feel like you get better all the time, and you feel like maybe after 30 tries you can get this level done. So yeah, I was kind of surprised. I like those sorts of games so much. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share with you today. Bye.
Aw, thank you, Olli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stand by these recommendations. We've been like playing a lot of them together, and yeah, it's been really fun. Like I've talked about like my gaming before, but definitely like, because we haven't had like a console before this year, like getting a PlayStation has been so fun because we've been like able to play together, and it's been like pretty new for both of us. Like I hadn't done that in years either, so yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been also like playing console games this year a lot, but we mostly play race games, like racing games. But yeah, I kind of, now I'm like curious. I'm like, maybe I should try some puzzle games also. They sound interesting.
Yeah, this Unravel and Celeste, they are like super fun because they're like, is it like a platformer when you're, this little person is jumping like kind of mostly sideways and you're going through levels, but then there are like puzzles, so it's like kind of reminiscent of the childhood favorite games of mine, but then it's like that it's also like challenging in another way because of the puzzle. So I don't know, I really love them too. It's been super fun. Thank you,
All
Olli.
right. We have one. Yes, thank you. We have one more submission from Valentina, who was also a guest on our season 2, I think.
Yes, our Harry Potter episode.
Yes. So yeah, let's listen to Valentina's suggestion.
Hello, Drawing Club. This is Valentina from the Harry Potter episode. And this week I want to share a really nice sewing story with you. We didn't really talk about my textile side, and I do a lot of crafts and sewing and weaving and things like that with recycled materials. And last week I got my hands on a really nice, huge piece of super soft and cozy sweater material. So it just screamed, please make something comfy out of me. And I decided to make myself basically an adult version of a baby onesie, something super cozy. And so I took one of my sweaters that fit really well, a pair of pants and a hoodie, and kind of patched them together to make these huge overalls. And I sewed them all up. I mean, it took me 3 days, but now I have this piece of clothing that is just the most comfortable thing ever. I don't want to wear anything else anymore. It's so cozy, and I basically made my whole closet obsolete with this, and I'm not mad about it. But yeah, so it kind of made me think back on this year, because I only really started making clothes for myself in the spring. I was always really intimidated by it, because usually I only make home textiles, so it's not so crucial if it exactly fits a person. It's mostly squares and rectangles and things like that. But yeah, so I started making clothes for myself from my old clothes or recycled materials this year. And, the first ones, they were, wearable, but sometimes very strange. Sometimes the fit was questionable. But, with everything you learn a little bit. And now my final piece for this year probably is actually something I really love and something that fits. And it's just so nice to look back to see that I've actually improved. And I know now a little bit more what I'm doing and how to fix things and how to make things fit. And it's just so nice to see that I thought I always had like quite good sewing skills, but there's still kind of always room to improve. And this kind of side of making clothes was always so scary, but now it's something where I'm thinking, okay, this is something I can maybe do a little bit more. And the other good thing is that I also realized that I haven't bought any clothes. I mean, who needs new clothes this year? Let's be honest. We're all just home and being comfy. But it's also great if you are interested. I would highly recommend try it out. There's lots of stuff on YouTube, lots of great tutorials. Just try to make yourself maybe just a t-shirt or something, and it's just so nice and satisfying to have something to wear that you made yourself. That's like super happy feeling. And yeah, of course, the times when it doesn't work is super frustrating, but you learn from it and you can always kind of take it apart, make something else, or, take it as a learning experience and be proud of the weird clothes that you make and wear them at home, because I have some also that I wouldn't wear them outside, but they're still fine to wear around the house, so there's nothing really lost. So yeah, that was my thing for the week. So happy sewing, everybody.
Yeah, that piece of clothing sounds very comfy.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Like I would definitely also never wear anything else, probably.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Wow. Yeah, thank you, Valentina, for sharing this story. And
Yes, thank you.
yeah, I think like the skill to make your own clothes is like such a good one to have.
Yeah. Have you made any clothes yourself?
I only made some when I was in school, when they taught us to do it. But yeah, and then I did like alter some clothes before. Like I would sometimes buy some secondhand clothes and then like change the length or something.
Yeah.
Or like cut off the sleeves or like these like very simple things. But I also made the mistake of buying a lot of secondhand clothes that didn't fit that I was gonna fix, and then they would just lie there waiting, because I'm a procrastinator and sewing is like not my favorite thing.
Yeah, oh my god, same. I can't count how many times I've done that. Same thing.
Yeah, so then like one day I decided I'm never gonna do that, and now I have a rule that if it doesn't fit, I don't take it, because I'm never gonna fix it.
Yeah.
And I actually like sold my sewing machine because I never really used it, and I thought like if I ever need to sew something like once a year, I can go to the library and use their sewing machines because they have some.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like not a fan of sewing, but I think like, yeah, if you like sewing in general, then yeah, sewing clothes is like a great skill to develop.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I made one top in my life, I think, and yeah, some stuff in school. But I always think, like in theory, I like sewing, but whenever I actually do it, it's like I always have so much difficulty. Like I have to redo things like a million times before I get them right, and it's like always a very frustrating experience. So I still kind of have this thing like, oh, like when Valentina was talking, I was like, oh my God, yeah, like I really want to learn to do that. But then I kind of remember like the reality of how it is when I sew, and yeah, maybe not. But I wish I was that person. And maybe one day I will. Let's see. Anything is possible.
Yeah, I'm more of like a knitter and crocheter. And like this kind of stuff. Like I did make some like socks, and I even knit myself a top once, and it was really pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that like if I ever want to make a piece of clothing for myself, I think I will like knit it rather than sew.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we share our things with the club?
Yes, let's do it. Do you want to start?
Yes. I actually have two. Can I share two things?
Yes. So maybe we can go like, you can share one, then I can share mine, and then you share the second one? Or are they like related?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
how does that sound?
No, they're not related at all.
Let's do that then.
Okay. Well, I can first share one that I actually wanted to share like back when it happened, but then I think on that day I decided to share something else. So that was like an extra thing that I was gonna share with the club, but then I didn't. But then today is a special day, so I'm gonna share this extra thing.
Yes, do
extra
it.
Story. Yeah. So like a while ago, I don't remember, like some weeks ago, my partner and I watched a musical.
Ooh.
And it's actually a punk musical. And it's called Home Street Home.
Oh, I've never heard of it, but I love musicals, so I'm very excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. When we first started watching, because like my partner started watching it, and I was kind of like, okay, I can like watch it with you, and he was like, yeah, so it's this punk musical that is like created by this Fat Mike, who is like one of the people in NoFX, the punk band, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like it seemed like, because he was like my partner was a big fan of NoFX when he was like a teenager, and I did listen to like also to some like punk music when I was a teenager, but I'd never really listened to NoFX, so I'm like, I don't know, okay, I can watch it with you. And at first I was like, oh, this is so cheesy. This is like, it's like in this punk style, but it's like musical kind of songs.
Yeah.
But I got really into it, and in the end, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because like, I don't know, like when you first hear punk musical made by like this guy from a punk band, it sounds kind of like, I don't know, sounds weird. But yeah, they raised a lot of like really serious topics. Like I would say it's pretty heavy. So like if you're gonna watch it, like be prepared to some pretty heavy topics. There is like some like they show things like sex work, like sexual assault, and drug use and stuff like that. But it's like I think it was shown in like quite a nice, very like open way, and like I don't know, I somehow like it was also like pretty like, because the songs are like musical songs, so it was pretty like fun and light, but also like serious at the same time. So yeah, and it's like about this like group of street punks and like their life, and like apparently people who made the musical also, they were part of this kind of communities. So it's Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like describing it well enough, but I really enjoyed it, even though like when I first like learned about it existing, I was kind of like
Not sure it's your thing.
you know, yeah, but I really liked it.
Yeah, that sounds like super interesting.
So yeah,
I would watch it.
Yeah, I would recommend. I think we probably watched it on YouTube.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I also have, my thing is also a recommendation because I started listening to a new podcast, or I mean, new for me, but I finally started listening to the Magnus Archives. I don't know if you heard of this, but it's a horror.
No.
It's a horror podcast, like a fictional horror podcast. And well, it's based around the Magnus Archives, which is like, it's in England, and it's like this, I guess, like a society or like some kind of a, thing that like they look into supernatural phenomena. So people have something happen to them and they come and ask for help. And it's like kind of set up in the way that this, they have a new archivist. Is that the way to pronounce it? Well, the person who does all the archiving in the archives. And he's like the main character kind of. And he like, he finds all these case files in there. It's like super messy. And then he like dictates them on tape so that they will be like recorded properly. So that's like kind of the format. So every episode is like, and at first I was like, because I've seen this around like online, like people really love this podcast. And I think it's been like a couple of years that I've been like, oh, I should really listen to it. But I'm like, I don't know if like a horror podcast is like my thing. But it's, I've listened to like 30 episodes or something because this week I've done like a lot of drawing. So I've just been listening to this podcast the whole time pretty much. And it's like, every episode is this like its own case. But like when it's kind of the further it goes, there start to be these connections between the episodes. And like it's starting to kind of affect the people who work in the archives. And so it's like kind of building up to something all the time. So I don't know, I'm kind of getting hooked already. It's really fun. And I don't think it's like super scary. And I like with horror movies, I'm like the person who gets like scared super easily. But for some reason, like, I don't know, I really enjoy this podcast. It's not like too scary, but it is like horror and it is kind of gory sometimes. So like if that's like something you absolutely do not want, then I don't maybe recommend it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So some of you might be interested in checking it out if you don't listen to it already.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, I think you should try it. And I think they have already like at least 130 episodes or something. Like it's been going on, I guess, for a while.
Okay.
And
yeah, so maybe when I do some like home painting, that could be a good
go ahead.
Like, yeah, for binging.
Yeah, it feels perfect for binging, definitely.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes. Well, and just like the thing I would normally share this week is this little trip we took this weekend. So I already like talked about our waterfall project that we had this whole year with my partner. So this weekend, or like last weekend, we went to our last trip and we filmed our last 2 waterfall videos. And yeah, it was so nice to like take this little trip because again, like we can't go to too many places these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that these nature trips are like still possible because we don't really like meet anyone on those. we did stay in a couple like they're not even hotels, but like these little. Well, we stayed like for 2 nights in 2 different places, and one of them was like a farm, like an organic farm, and the other one was just like this wooden house in the village.
Yeah.
But like it's a hotel, but it's like a very small one, and they were so cute, and like the owners made sure to like organize it so that we didn't even have to, like in one of them they just left the key for us in the door, and the entrances were like from the street, so we didn't even have to like contact anyone, and almost like no one else was staying there, so it was so nice that we didn't really like have to contact with anyone. And yeah, those like old wooden like traditional Finnish houses are like so cute. It was like staying at a cabin.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, and yeah, again we went to the forest to film those waterfalls, so that was also really pretty. And one of the waterfalls was like on a lakeside, so it was like a really beautiful view like on the lake. And the other one was like in the forest, so it was like the river was kind of surrounded by like pine trees and like spruce trees, and just like the waterfall kind of falling out of like these like this nook of like trees, so it was just like so pretty. Yes.
Sounds beautiful.
So yeah, and yeah, I'm like a bit sad that this project has ended, but also I'm happy we had the opportunity to do it, that like we got the grant and we could like visit so many places in Finland. Like we've seen so much of Finland this year.
Yeah.
And mostly like nature, and it was just so nice.
Yeah, I've been like so, like it's been so nice to kind of look from the sidelines and see like, I don't know, like hear about this project and all your trips to the waterfalls. Like it's all sounded so beautiful, and like also in a way like probably like the best timing that it was this year, in the sense that because you weren't like going to places where people are, but you still like had place, like you were able to travel places safely and see places, and like because this year has been so, everyone's been stuck at home, so it's like nice that there was this thing where you were able to like, you know, see something different and experience something beautiful outside the home as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so happy that the whole like we made it like a point in this project that it was like in Finland, and then once we like couldn't travel anywhere abroad, it was like that's so like nice that like that this year if you wanted to travel you could only travel inside the country, and that was exactly what we planned.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Yeah, so that was really nice. But we did like catch the travel, like the nature hiking camping bug, so I think like next summer we're definitely like gonna do another like bigger camping trip, and let's see what the situation is, but maybe even outside of Finland. And like yeah, I'm so happy that we got to kind of like push ourselves now to do it, and like yeah, now we can make plans to do it more.
Yeah, that's so nice.
All right, so now we thought we could go to your questions.
Yes.
Or like usually we would do a question of the week, but this year this year this episode is special, so we're doing 2 questions.
Yes.
We have an extra question.
We do.
So let's start with question number 1.
Yes.
So question of the week number 1.
Yes. Should I ask the first
Yes.
question? Just a second.
Yes,
I
please.
will look it up. Okay. So Nora Pooley I'm sorry if that isn't how your name is pronounced. They sent us a question. What was the process of learning to draw digitally for you? Any tips for a beginner?
Okay.
Should I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, so for context, I hadn't really done a whole lot of digital drawing before I got the iPad a couple years ago. Was it maybe like it was like 2.5 years ago almost? Was it a year and a half? Oh my god, I can't even tell. Well, about 2 years. Let's say that for safety. Like I had done some occasional drawing, but I always found it really challenging digitally. So I was mostly working with markers and watercolors at the time, and I thought like even though like so I on my iPad I draw on the Procreate app, and even though that was like pretty easy to kind of get started with that because I was like accustomed to using Photoshop, it's like the first few digital drawings I made, they look pretty rough. Like looking back now, I'm like, oh, so it definitely took me a while, but I don't really know what tips to kind of give because I just kind of noticed that I kind of continued doing what I was already doing with my markers, like style wise, but then like slowly I've kind of, I don't know, added or learned little tricks like how I want to add texture to my pieces, for example, or something. And like what I love about working digitally is like mostly the way I get to compose the illustrations. So like, because that was a huge, like that was so difficult for me when I had to like sketch traditionally and then like erase stuff to try and move stuff around, and so this like makes that whole part of the process so much easier. I don't know, I think it just like already after like 5 drawings on the iPad, I was already getting like more comfortable, and they were like looking more like my traditional pieces. I mean, of course it looks different because it's digital, but like maybe like I was almost as good. So it came pretty fast, but don't be like discouraged if the first few tries are like kind of horrendous or not what you'd expect, because I think it just took some trial and error maybe. How about for you?
Yeah, I think it like depends on the medium that you use before you start digital drawing. Like I think both of us were using markers a lot. So for that, for example, it's like pretty similar. Like of course the look is gonna be different, but like the technique is kind of, you're still holding a pen kind of and like drawing with it. For the iPad, of course. But yeah, I did some digital art before I got the iPad. But then I would primarily work on paper, and then I would scan my drawings, and then I would kind of trace them in Illustrator. And I didn't even like use, I did have a tablet, like a drawing tablet, but I never used it really to draw. It never worked for me. I tried to learn, but I never really like drew anything in Photoshop. I would just kind of trace things in Illustrator by just like, creating lines or like shapes or anything, like kind of just repeating things that I already made,
Right.
but like with those shapes in Illustrator. So yeah, then once I got the iPad, of course, it got like much easier. Like I could actually draw. And I think the way I learned, I just started with like, maybe I think I took photos of some of my drawings that already existed on paper, and then I kind of traced them on the iPad. So kind of like drew the same things that I already drew, but kind of tried to repeat them. And I first started with just the general like pencil tool that the Procreate app has. And then I was just trying some other things just to see like what works. And then I would like one other brush. Like I never use a lot of brushes even now, but in the beginning I would just use one brush and then maybe try one other brush and then work with that for a while. And then once I'm comfortable, I would try some other brush, like kind of really slowly adding to like what I'm comfortable with. And I think I was also watching a lot of YouTube videos of like people who also use Procreate, and I was just kind of like looking at what they're doing. And sometimes I would be like, oh, like this is a nice like technique, or like this is interesting how they did this, and then I would try to repeat it. Or sometimes like if I thought I want to do something, like I wonder if you can do this in Procreate, I would maybe Google like how to do this and that in Procreate. But I think mostly it was by just trying things and doing the same I was already doing, but just with a different, like just digitally, and then watching other people work. I think that, and practice.
Yeah, just drawing on it like helped for me. I didn't really even look at kind of other people. I mean, I have since, but I kind of like didn't, what's the word? You know, I wasn't trying to learn from other people. I was kind of just trying my own stuff. But I'm also the same, that I kind of only use maybe 2 brushes, generally speaking.
Yeah. And I mean, nowadays there is like a lot of tutorials, so you can always like, if you want to learn from other people, you can always find some people like even explaining how to do what you want to do. But yeah, I think practicing is the main way to learn anything. So
yeah.
Digital illustration is the same. But yeah, of course, like I was thinking also about like the technique. Like if you're like a watercolor artist and you're doing like some very like specifically watercolor looking illustrations, and you want to do that, like you want to do something digital that would like remind that, or it's just like difficult for you to then do something that is like so different because you're so used to working with a brush and like brush strokes, then like I don't really know, because that's like not my experience, for example. Like I think maybe for us it was a bit more like quite similar, so maybe with some techniques it's like quite different, so maybe then you can like try to find some like watercolor artists who have started using Procreate and like try to see what they're doing. Yeah, so I guess it also depends on like what kind of traditional techniques you're moving from.
Yeah, that's good advice. Because I guess you can do so many things, like, and so many different styles digitally, just like you can traditionally. And of course, you're not, you know, it's not going to look exactly like a watercolor painting, because it's not. So maybe that shouldn't even be like the goal. But I think like a lot of people do like paint digitally still. So like, yeah. But that's good advice. Look up those people maybe who do something that you would like to also, if you would like to like create something similar, or like use some similar techniques. That's maybe the best way to learn those specific techniques. Yeah.
All right. I hope we answered your question.
Yeah.
And now let's go to question of the week number 2.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, so this question came from Danny.Krat, and they're asking, what were your childhood favorite characters?
Oh, that's such a cute question.
Yeah.
I had to think about this for a while, but then I actually did pretty quickly realize or like come up with some favorites of mine. And like a big favorite of mine was this mole. It was this animation, and I think the original title is Kuretake. I guess it's Czech animation, but it's like super beautiful, like traditional animation, and it's just these adventures of this mole, you know, the animal mole, and they just go like on cute adventures in the nature. And I remember there was this one specific episode that me and my brother absolutely loved, where like the only word, because the mole doesn't really speak, it's mostly like gibberish, but there was one episode where the mole would constantly like say again and again, chamomile, because I think it was looking for a chamomile, the plant. So we would just like watch it and keep repeating chamomile, chamomile the whole time, and it was so funny to us. Yeah, so I love that. And then of course, I watched a lot of the Moomins, the Japanese animation of the Finnish Moomins. And my favorite when I was a kid was Little Mai Pikkumu, because she was cute and like sassy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What were your favorites?
Yeah, I'm not sure like who was like my absolute favorite character. It's a bit hard to say, but the first like thing that came to mind when I read this question was this animation that I really liked as like a small kid, and the version that I watched was called Princess Starla and the Jewel Riders. But yeah, then later I found that the original is called Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders. But then like it's an American kind of like a comic style animated series, and in North America the princess was called Guinevere, and outside of North America she was called Princess Starla. So I don't know why that is. If somebody knows, let us know. I'm curious. But I watched it as Princess Starla and the Jewel Riders. And yeah, I think I actually like I have a Wikipedia article open. I can read you what it is about.
Please do.
So yeah, it says the plot follows the quest of a young princess of Avalon, Guinevere, or Starla, and her fellow teenage jewel riders, Fallon and Tamara, to find and secure the scattered enchanted jewels, so they can use them to stop the evil sorceress, Lady Kale, from taking over the kingdom, restore harmony in magic, and bring home their banished mentor Merlin. So yeah,
Sounds amazing. That sounds like I would watch
so
that.
it's like it's like this superhero girl gang.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they're like these three friends, and they had these like yeah, so they were collecting these jewels, but they each had like their own jewel, and that was like doing its magic. And then they had these like unicorns that they were riding, and whenever they were like ready to do their job, they would kind of change their like outfit.
Ooh, like
into
Sailor
this-
Moon.
Yeah. Yeah, like their outfit would change into this, like they would have this kind of helmets and like I don't know, this they would have like a superhero outfit. But yeah, they were superheroes and they were saving the kingdom. And yeah, there was this Merlin who was this older wise mentor, and yeah, they were trying to save him. And there were like some boys that were kind of their friends, but they were never like that important. They were kind of just like hanging. I think maybe they were also doing some stuff, but like the girls weren't saving the boys weren't saving the girls. So I think maybe like I especially liked that animation because they were girl superheroes.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, because they weren't a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
At the
I
time.
think like when I was young, the kinds of cartoons I would watch, I don't think I saw one like that. It was just like gangs of boys, like turtles and the biker mice. I don't know what that's called. Anyway, there were like a bunch of cool superheroes, and they were all like teenage boys.
Yeah. So these were teenage girl superheroes, and they were really cool.
Yeah.
And really cute, and all these jewels and all this, like, it was like very colorful, and like there was a lot of this nature, and it was like so pretty. So I think I really like it. And yeah, it was like, I think I also kind of like remembered it, because we had this like TV channel in my hometown, and it was like local. It was only like in my hometown and maybe like somewhere nearby. And yeah, they were running all those animations that were kind of like not so big. And there were like a lot of those animation series that I'm like nowadays I still remember, but I'm like, what were they even called? And they were so weird. Like, I guess they were just showing some stuff that is like easier to purchase or something. I don't really know, but like they didn't really usually show like, I don't know, Disney animations or anything. They were always some of those like less known and a little bit like maybe cheaper looking and like a bit out there. But I think they're like so cool because now like when I remember them, I love remembering them because it's so fun. So yeah, but I think this Princess Starla and the Jewel Riders was like my favorite out of all of those weird. But yeah, now that I was reading about it, it's apparently from the US and yeah, it was made in the mid-90s.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like a really cool
yeah.
one.
Yeah, but I want to know if like any of our listeners from like other countries also have watched that. Like, was it like? I wonder how big or small that was.
Yeah, let us know.
I don't really know. Yeah. All right. So then, before we wrap up,
Yeah, say goodbye.
we thought we could like chat a bit about what our plans for the holidays or like for this time off for the change of the year.
Yeah, because it's like early December now that we are recording this, and I guess this comes out like mid-December.
Yes. Yeah. So for you friends, it's mid-December and the year is coming to an end.
It is.
And the holiday season is, I guess, I mean, it seems like it's already here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mia, what are your plans for the change of the year and for the holiday season?
Yeah, well, I celebrate Christmas, and Christmas is like pretty much the only kind of holiday that I actually really enjoy, mostly because it's very, at least like in our family, it's very much like kind of around food. There's like a huge Christmas feast, and as you know by now, like I love food. So Christmas has always been like my favorite holiday, just for that reason, and like for spending time with my family, because it's one of the only times a year when we're all together. But this year is going to be slightly different because of Corona. And what we do most years is my partner Olli, his family lives like on the other part, like on the other side of Finland. So we usually travel there by train and spend like a week there. And spend like the Christmas Eve with my family first, and then we travel out there. But this year, we decided that we wouldn't travel there just because it's safer not to at this moment, which is like a really big bummer. But we're trying to plan our Christmas, because we also like, on the other side of things, we haven't had like a Christmas to ourselves like at all in the time that we have been together with my partner. So now we're kind of like trying to make the most of it. So actually today we're getting a tree delivered, like a Christmas tree, and it's like a Christmas tree that's still alive. I just heard about this thing. You can like rent a Christmas tree, and after it's returned, it will be planted back into the forest, which is like super amazing. So we'll be taking care of a Christmas tree. And yeah, we're planning to, of course, like have lots of food and snacks and probably play a lot of PlayStation and take it really easy. But we also have some like more active plans for this holiday season, because, and I think this is pretty similar to some of your plans, but we are planning to like paint some walls in here, because now we've lived in this apartment for 3 months, but we still haven't like gotten a lot of things on the walls. So we're finally gonna tackle all of that, like hang up some shelves and like some paintings and prints, and also paint some walls, some fun colors and stuff. And I can't wait to kind of just spend time home, but like time that we can just focus on the home and kind of making it as cozy as can be. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I think that's it. And I guess I don't really know about next year. Like, I don't know who does. I'm just gonna like wait and see. But I'm really looking forward to kind of taking it easy. And I've already closed my shop for the year, so I will be opening it sometime in January and kind of just seeing where that goes. But I'm very grateful to be able to take some time off first to recharge and also like make our home cozy together. What about you, Sasha? What are your plans?
Yeah, well, we also usually, like, we don't really celebrate Christmas in our family, or like we used to maybe sometimes like have like a family dinner with my partner's family, but we haven't been big fans of that, like of bigger family functions. So usually for Christmas we go to Estonia. That's like our little tradition. We just go away and we kind of escape the whole Christmas thing and just be by ourselves somewhere in Estonia. Because it's like quite inexpensive to go there for a little while, and it's like so quiet and nice. But yes, this year it's not happening. We're not traveling anywhere. So let's see, because we don't really have any like food traditions, because we didn't grow up in a culture where there is like Christmas food traditions. So for us it's just like, I don't know, just like a day off. But yeah, I think we're just gonna stay home and chill. And yes, we have some home improvement plans. We're gonna do some painting.
Nice.
And we have some new like shelf system coming that we're gonna build for like our studio space, because now it's really messy. So we're gonna like make our homework space area functional. And yeah, so like my Christmas plans are very housework related and not very Christmassy. But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna decorate. Sometimes I get into the mood to decorate the apartment and sometimes I don't. So let's see. I haven't gotten in the mood yet. Like, I don't want a tree, I don't want lights, I don't want anything. But I know that like every year, or not every year, but every now and then at some point I get this urge to like decorate. So I have some Christmas decoration like in the basement or like in the storage area. So let's see. And usually like lately I haven't been like, we haven't been buying trees, but sometimes I would go to this area where they sell like real trees, and I'll just ask if I can get the branches that they cut off those trees. And sometimes they let me pay like €5 and take whatever I want, because those branches are just trash to them. So like I would sometimes get a bunch of those branches for like a very low price, and they're pretty big sometimes.
Yeah.
So like last year I remember I brought a bunch of those branches and I actually decorated them with Christmas ornaments. So I had like several small Christmas trees in vases. And
that's so cool.
They smell like, yeah, so it's like this little zero waste Christmas tree tradition. So I might do that at least, like even if we don't decorate them, I still want to pick some branches at the Christmas tree selling place and and put them up and have some spruce decorations.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know if I like it. I never know how Christmassy our Christmas holiday is, because it depends on our like how we feel. Sometimes I get this urge to like make some Christmas food, and sometimes we just eat regular food.
Yeah, I can't wait for the smell of the spruce because, like, for my whole adult life, I have like a plastic Christmas tree, which I bought when I was 20. So I've just been using that, and especially, yeah, since we travel, like, right around Christmas, there's been no, like, a real tree wouldn't make any sense for, like, one day. What?
Yeah.
So I'm, like, really excited to smell, because I love the smell. It's so good.
Yeah.
And we also made these traditional Christmas pastries last week for the first time this Christmas season. These joulutorttu,
Yeah.
which has like this plum
Yeah.
marmalade inside, and then it's just this pastry. And we had glöggi, which is like mulled wine, like a non-alcoholic mulled wine kind of drink. And so it's like kind of getting into this Christmassy spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, those Christmas pastries, those I love.
Yeah.
And we usually make them like a lot. But yeah, this year I still haven't made them. I ate some store-bought ones already on our trip, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but we haven't made any yet. But yeah, maybe I'll make those because those I love.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get some Christmas spirit as well.
Yeah.
That will be the deciding factor.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't really like do gifts anymore, so I have zero stress about buying gifts, which I'm so thankful for. I'm like so happy that we decided in our families that we don't do Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Like if like sometimes I'll give a gift to my partner if I like get an idea that I want to buy him something, I'll buy him, but like sometimes it's around Christmas because it's just like gift giving is in the air, so I get an idea, but also like I can also give him a gift anytime if I want to. So we don't have that really either.
Yeah, same. I think we mostly like give kind of, what is it, like non-physical gifts. So like traditionally we cook like a special dinner for my family, for example, every year. So that's like always the gift, but it's always super nice. Like time spent together is like, I think a really nice gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sad to like, I mean, we haven't, sometimes my family travels here for Christmas, like from Russia, and sometimes we go there, but we haven't actually done it in a while because like around Christmas tickets are especially expensive, so we kind of decided, yeah, let's visit each other on like other times because it doesn't make sense. But still, like this time of year kind of does make you think about like family coming together, and like, yeah, I haven't seen my mom or my grandparents or my sister in like a really long time, and I have no idea when I'm gonna see them again, and that's a bit sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, but let's see. We can have a video call, a party or something maybe sometime during the holidays.
I think we're gonna do something like that with Ollie's mom, where we'll maybe have like a Christmas dinner together with her via like video call.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But I am
right now.
Yeah, but I'm kind of excited for the change of the year. Like, I know that it's just numbers, but because this year, like, has been so different, I kind of, like, I don't know, I do, like, feel a bit of this symbolism of, like, changing of the year and, like, leaving all the crappy things in the past year and, like, manifesting only good things for the next year. And of course I know it doesn't work like that, like things just don't magically change, but I feel like it's just like this my thing that I kind of want to like manifest it for myself. Like I like kind of want some more happy things to happen next year, and I'm like really hopeful for at least the pandemic situation to get better.
Yeah.
And of course, like, me being hopeful doesn't help anything, but like...
Well, it helps you.
Maybe...
It helps you.
Yes.
And that's important.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm like... I am a bit like... Because, yeah, usually I'm a bit like... of this person who's like, this whole new year doesn't matter. You can like, even though I actually still always make like plans for the new year and stuff, I do get in this spirit, but also like it's more of like a number change for me. I don't usually have this, it's this magical moment when you, and I don't know if like because in our culture, like we never had really like Christmas. So for us, like New Year was always this, like in our culture, you get the tree for the new year and you give the gifts for the new year. And it's this magical night when all the dreams come true. And it's, there's like this whole like magic around it. So you usually like make a wish for the next year, and like that's when the Santa Claus gives you gifts and stuff. So it's like there's a lot of this magic that is like around New Year. And as a kid, like I had that a lot, but nowadays I'm like very rational, and I'm like, okay, the number changes, so it's a good time to reflect and to like make new plans, but like I don't see any magic in that. But I think like this year I'm a bit like, I'm sending good vibes to the next year. I hope this change of the number does something good for us, because I think like this year has been so stressful for like globally and also like personally for me. So it's like if there's any chance there's some magic about it,
yes, please.
I'm gonna like channel it with all my might.
Yes, I love that. I want to do that too. Definitely, let's send all the good feelings and wishes out into the universe.
Yeah. So maybe I'm gonna celebrate the New Year's night like more than usual. Let's see. Yeah. But yeah, please, friends, share what your plans are for the holidays, or if you have any, or if you even like celebrate anything during this time of year. Like, what does this time of year look like for you?
Yeah, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this season.
Yeah, oh my god, it's a time to say goodbye. I feel like it feels so hard. But I mean, yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. I don't know, I'm getting like a bit emotional now, because like, Sasha, can you imagine? Like, it's our 3rd season finale. It feels very special. Yeah. I'm so happy about what
30 episodes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and of course, like now the podcast doesn't look the same as it was in the beginning, and our idea was to like also have a video so we can kind of like sit together and you can see us draw, because like when we draw and we talk about what we draw is like not ideal. And it was like so nice when we started and you could see like what we're drawing and everything. But I hope like you friends understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, you friends do understand that like we can't really meet much this year, but also like we maybe could potentially like film something even separately, but it's just like everything has been so much harder to do this year, and we thought that we would rather have like audio only podcast for you than nothing at all.
Exactly.
So and it was nice to like still keep this happening even in the middle of everything, like a lot of other things falling apart.
Yeah, definitely.
And I hope we could like keep you company through the difficult times.
Yes. At least I think like this podcast, like recording this podcast has in a way already like kept me company, if that makes any sense. Like I really love that we have still been able to have these sessions of just chatting and drawing together. It's been really nice.
Yeah, because like we actually don't see each other like just like outside this podcast either. So even like for us, just the two of us, this is like already a whole like thing that we sit down and do something together.
Yeah.
Which maybe like otherwise we wouldn't have, because nowadays it's like so hard to stay in touch with people because you can't see them
Yeah.
in real life, or like at least not everyone and not always.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has been like a very cozy and like nice
Yeah.
thing to do.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening to us this whole year. Or if you joined later, we're so happy that you joined, and we'll be back
Yes.
in 2021.
Oh my God. We will. And hopefully it's a nicer year. And then, like, of course, our plan is still that, like, when it's safer again, we would love to go back to the video format and, like, really, really hang out with you guys and with each other, especially.
Yes.
I can't wait to draw, like, IRL with you again. But we'll get there. And in the meantime,
We will.
this is still, like, it's still great. Still enjoy it. And I hope your friends do too. I feel like I'm just like trying to make this last longer and longer, so I don't know what to say back.
We're trying to postpone the goodbyes. Okay, we're not going forever,
Yes,
so
we're not.
it's okay. Yes, and we'll still be on our Instagram, and we'll still be reading your messages. So yeah,
Yes.
don't forget about us.
Yeah, let's keep in touch.
Stay in touch. Yes.
And enjoy the rest of your year, and I hope the new year will bring for all of us some like happiness and hope for the future.
Exactly. All right. See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Drawing Club podcast.
You can follow us on Instagram at Drawing Club Podcast, or email us at drawingclubpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find me, Mia, on Instagram at mia.minerva and on YouTube as Mia Minerva. Sasha, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Sasha_Kretova.
This podcast was created by us, Mia Minerva and Sasha Kretova.
Olli Arni created the theme song and assisted with the recording, and Dmitry Zherbin took care of audio mastering.
Welcome to the club, friends.